All right, hello again, friends. Our story in our Bible book this week is about Abram worshiping God. And for us nowadays, worshiping God looks like singing and praying, going to church. But for Abram, whenever he stopped walking for the day while he was walking to his new home, he built an altar. He built an altar and offered a sacrifice to God. My altar isn't very tall today. Altars were used to offer a sacrifice to God whom we worship. A sacrifice was usually a lamb or a ram, a boy sheep, and they did that to show God that we understand that sin comes with a price. Bad choices and mistakes that we've made, all that sin that came from Satan, there is a price to pay for those mistakes, and that was a life. And it reminded us whenever they killed a sheep and laid it on top of the altar and burned it up to as a sacrifice offering for God, it told God that we understand who was going to come down from heaven to sacrifice himself for us. Jesus, that's right. And so they built an altar as a place to worship and pray and remember that God truly loves us, that he'll sacrifice himself, his son Jesus, so that we can stay safe from sin. So I built an altar here. You could crumple up some paper. You could use blocks if you have it. What would your altar look like? Mine is a little bit flat. I'll try to make it tall if I could. On your Shobi, to think about God's sacrifice and that we worship him, you have a worksheet here of an altar that needs to be filled out. And I colored my rocks here, and they have the words of our Bible verse this week. The Lord is our God, and we will worship only him. It's only God that loves us so much that he'd sacrifice himself for our sin. And that's why we are waiting for him to come back so that he can take us up to heaven, and all those that choose him will get to live a happy life with him in heaven. So we built our altar there. You could use the worksheets, or you could keep your rocks here and just build a worksheet too. This is just a fun way to practice our Bible verse and also build an altar like Abram did all those years ago. Thanks, friends.